Bonnie, this is your last moment with us?
Well, I have to get back. I was supposed to leave today, but of course, because of all the extreme weather that occurred, I'm leaving tomorrow. But it's my last day with you.
When's the next hurricane so you can come back? We talked about this, but
season.
Yeah, I know, but seriously, the season still continues.
It does.
Right?
Yeah, we still have till November 30th. I hope for everyone that's been impacted by hurricanes this year, it is the last one, though. But I enjoyed being here.
Well, what is the history of November?
November, it's rare to have a hurricane. Mostly, and even in October, typically they turn out into the Atlantic. That's one of the things that made Sandy so unusual.
Is it the water temperature that's
the water temperature, the
differential?
steering mechanisms of the way the winds and the upper levels of the atmosphere are going, usually to steer them out to sea.
And the water level around Manhattan has been rising steadily over the last couple of years too, right?
Well, the water levels have been rising, and of course with polar ice caps melting, and all of that comes into play.
You buy this idea that Greenland's melting and the water in New York City's up a little?
I'm not completely. I mean, I think that there's many factors that cause rising water levels.
As you put your book together, Extreme Weather, what was the thing you learned about not only hurricanes, but all the other calamities we face?
I learned that they're increasing, that they're happening to more people in parts of the country that don't typically experience extreme weather, like tornadoes happening in New York City or a hurricane happening here.
Wait, hold on. What's the difference between a tornado, a hurricane, and a typhoon, which they get in Asia a lot?
Well, tornadoes is a type of storm that would be more of an independent, volatile tornado, meaning we have like an uplift of winds and a spinning motion, whereas a hurricane's a massive storm. But your other question, we were talking about this yesterday too, the difference between cyclone, hurricane, typhoon. They're all called different things, but they're all the exact same storm.
We're going to have surveillance storm center jackets. They're going to be bright orange.
Great.
The back's going to say economics, finance, meteorology.
Oh, I'd like one.
Would that be good?
Yes.
Okay, we'll try to get you one of those. But my answer is, you're the pro at this. Why do we have media people on beaches? We're here. Why do we do that? Is it our human condition?
I think it's just the visual perspective of seeing how bad the storm is, because we talk a lot about, well, these storms could blow about this or it would cause this much damage, but when you see it blowing a person, I think that's the visual impact. Of course, as a meteorologist, you know the safety threat, and you want to make sure you do everything safely and never take risks.
Do you give the media high marks for their coverage of Hurricane Sandy?
I do.
I think it's better than it was 5 years ago. It's a little, I thought it was more responsible.
I think
I've seen before.
It seemed more organized.
It did seem more organized, and I think that we had more of a clear perspective of where the storm was going. The models suddenly, just a few days before the storm's impact, were all in agreement of what was going to happen, but the storm surge was alarming, and I think we really wanted to get that message out there.
And government officials were on the ball this time. I mean, a lot of people criticized the city and other places for, I don't know, hyperbole, right? Over-dramatizing the threat. And this time, they did not over-dramatize the threat at all.
No, I don't think so. I think that there was a lot of criticism as well last year during Irene, if you remember, with evacuations.
Right.
People were saying that was unnecessary. Since I wrote this book and I did so much research on extreme weather, I don't think that you can overemphasize the safety measures that need to be taken.
The reality we face here at Lexington and 59th with 3rd Avenue behind us is packed streets. Betty Lou, we made jokes about it. This is not funny. These people, with all goodwill, the streets there are much better. As we look out of our world headquarters, you can see the buses lined up. That is the mode of transportation. That looks like 57th Street. There's a McDonald's, which Sarah has her number 2 value meal, like 4 out of 5 days a week. But when you look, Bonnie, when you look at the traffic management now, they got to get out of the way to let people do the work they need to do, right?
That's one of the key things in the aftermath of any storm, whether you're talking about a tornado or a hurricane. You always have to let the emergency management get to where they're going and let them do their job. You know, there's going to be so much assessment and so much discussion of this storm meteorologically and economically as we go forward, because it really was historic.